I don't think I would call myself a frustrated poet. I think like most young men with any kind of literary talent at all, my primary ambition was to be a poet. Of course, music got in the way, and indeed I only got into the writing of literature, to the production of literature at all, because when I was about 30, I wanted to write an opera, and I had to produce my own libretto, which was in verse, and the libretto was structured in the form of a novel. The opera was never written, the libretto was too long, so I turned the libretto into a novel. The production of a poet, the creation of a poet in a novel is a kind of rather dubious means of fulfilling a poetic ambition. I am not a poet, but I can create a poet, and I can force this poet to create poetry. As I say in the introduction to this novel, when the first Enderby book came out in 1960, I think it was, a reviewer in Punch said it would be helpful if Mr. Burgess would indicate whether Enderby's poems are meant to be good or bad. A fine instance of critical paralysis. The words were there on the page, and the critic should be able to judge himself. In fact, I will say this now, that the poems that this character wrote, or writes, were written by myself first, and were sent to T.S. Eliot, of Faber and Faber, in a volume, and Eliot said, I like the poems, especially I like these three. And he ticked on the margin 3 sheets of the manuscript, but he said, we cannot publish it now. Well, I will not try again to publish a volume of verse, but I will not forget this verse. I will use it in some capacity or other. I think the time is coming now in my old age to consider the publication of my collected verse. This may come. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's a difficult job. But I think when one takes on the job of a particular kind of novelist, which in a sense contains the poetic impulse, one gives up the writing of verse. This happened to Joyce, of course. Joyce was obviously a poetic talent, but the poetic talent was totally exploited in prose.